to do contracts. It's not contracts. When was the last time your teachers went for in-service training? What workshop has been run for the teachers? Is it the workshops that the different state suburbs will say they're organizing, and they will write people's names and collect the money, the allowances, and the teachers who really need the upskilling are not there? We have to tell ourselves the truth. And until, why would you even accept to be inferior? Why? Because nobody will make you feel inferior except with your consent. Because when we went to school, we had people from some of these states that scored very high in JAMB. And when you meet some of them and you are talking with them, they're very intelligent and they feel very angry that their states are being portrayed in this very horrible manner.
That's why I asked you if this was enforcing stereotypes.
I don't think it's enforcing stereotype. I just think it's institutionalizing mediocrity. And I also think it's our playing the ostrich, because by doing this, we are saying all is well. All is well. Why didn't we carry this further to JAMB? Why did we say that is 180 that is pass mark in JAMB across the country? Why? Why did we say that for colleges of education and polytechnics is 160, then down to 150?
You were a former commissioner of education. Now, assuming your state was listed as one of those that, you know, had a really low score then.
No, we don't have low score.
Assuming.
No, we don't. Don't assume. Don't use hypothesis. Please don't use hypothesis for my state.
The reason I ask that is how would you work your way out of this kind of quagmire? Because this is definitely a problem. What would your advice be to the commissioners of education? Because I want to believe that they have commissioners of education in the states.
Forum, yes.
You know, they have been mentioned here.
Forum for commissioners.
How would you work your way out, knowing that this is going to be a long-term program? It's not something that you solve immediately and it's done. You have to take certain steps.
Going back to the drawing board is accepting that something is actually wrong. Not fanning yourself that you have achieved success by being considered unintelligent, by being considered a mediocre.
Should they even accept this score? If they are thinking of the future of their state, should they even accept this kind of cutoff?
No. You see, that is where we are coming to. Because I said nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. I will feel agitated that they are telling me a child from my state should score 4. Something is wrong. You are telling us that we are a bunch of idiots. 4 over what? It's not 4 over 10, not 4 over 20. You know, the commissioners should go back and tell their governors if they will agree. Because 2015 is what is glaring everybody. Everybody is looking at 2015. That this is a dent on the image of our state. We should be able to do so. And what are those so? Get well-educated and experienced teachers. Ensure that they're in school. Provide infrastructure for this school, instructional materials. And for this, you give them remedial lessons. By the time you do this consistently, for the next 2 years, no child is unteachable. But an illiterate cannot teach an illiterate. You have to get a qualified, trained teacher. A competent teacher to start teaching these children, to start letting them know what it is, and for them to even know that these exams are inevitable because it's a national exam, and at the end of this is just the first national exam they're going to face. There's also the one at JS3 level. Yeah. There is WAEC. There is JAMB. These are steps.
So they can't afford to start.
You can't start on a false step. This is a false step. And by the time you start like this, you are destroying those children, because when they are no longer at a point where there will be overindulgence for them, because this is overindulgence. When they no longer have overindulgence, there will be problem. Why are you not treating me the way I have always been treated? They won't own the problem. They won't see themselves as part of the problem. You are the problem. Why are you not accepting that I have a disadvantage and I should be treated so? Why are you not asking yourself why you are doing this to me? And for the child that is suffering because of undue advantage to another child, we also have to think of what to do with the psychological makeup of that child, the thought process of that child. Talking of cognitive restructuring, how change the way that child will be thinking, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a 10-year-old, and in the last 5 years, I've had a friend who is in the same class with me. We are always playing, spending weekends together, either in our house or in their house, and suddenly, because we are going to enter federal government colleges, they are telling me that I'm different from her. That is a problem.
Okay, let's take a moment and go for the headlines. We'll come back and take a look at some more recommendations on what to do to stop this challenge, or to address this challenge that we've got on our hands. Adeshawa Josh is here with the headlines. Morning, Adeshawa.
Morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, everyone. The top stories at this hour. The federal government has announced the recovery of £25.5 million from an Indian man as part of the money laundered by the former head of state. The Minister of Justice, Mr. Mohammed Aduke, told journalists in Abuja, the nation's capital, that €175 million had earlier been recovered from the family of the late head of state following a confiscation order by the Supreme Court in Central Europe. The Minister of Aviation, Mr. Stella Odua, has assured victims of the Dana air crash that by December this year, everyone will be settled. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, Mrs. Odua announced that the federal government is also working with international organizations to ensure air safety. The House of Representatives is urging the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement its planned cashless policy only in areas that have the necessary infrastructure in place. The House rejected the attempt by the sponsor of the motion to amend the title and have the policy suspended for the time being. And on the foreign scene, Rio de Janeiro's mayor, Eduardo Paz, says Brazil lost a great opportunity to improve public services when it won the right to host the 2014 Football World Cup, noting that Brazil should have seized the occasion to invest in healthcare, education, and transport. He spoke after another day of protest against corruption and the high cost of preparations for the game. Nearly 90 people were arrested for rioting outside the stadium in Fortaleza ahead of the game between Spain and Italy at the Confederations Cup. Well, those are the top stories of this hour. It's back to you, Chamberlain.
All right, thank you, Adeshawa. And our concluding moments now with this one. First of all, do you agree with those who think, number one, withdraw this, Minister of Education, make a statement to apologize to the country, and then put in measures?
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I agree. It should be withdrawn, that it was an error for it to have even come to the public view.
Because if this escaped the media, this would have been accepted. They would have been running with it by now.
Yes. There's always been this disparity, but not to this level. You know, where some states, the difference before now is usually 10, 15, 20, not like this. This is bad. I agree with those that are suggesting it should be withdrawn. And something very reasonable. Yes, they may say that some states will not have students.